Add source. Add source. Doop doop. Can you hear now? It's saying that you guys should be able to hear me. Ah, this is so frustrating. I don't know what's going on with it. I literally have no idea. Hey, Charles. Okay, there we go. You guys got it? Yes. Fantastic. I have to edit that off and know how to fix that in the future. In any event, wow. So I figured I'd jump on here. I didn't realize we were going to have audio problems, but, you know, whatever. We're still on time. Sorry, apparently I had no audio for a while. So, oh. So what's going on, guys? I figured I'd jump on here and chat for a second about OSHA, see what you guys had to think and say about that. Hear you in Wisconsin. That's awesome. So for those of you that don't know, my aunt is the local OSHA inspector for the area, and that would seem like a good thing, except it's probably not, because aside from issuing me an OSHA fine, she would, you know, murder me if I ever did anything that was, you know, wrong. But wanted to hear stories that you guys had about OSHA. What I want to do is create like a series of different OSHA violations that led to injuries, and I wanted you guys to send in your stories, send me an email, send me pictures, whatever you got, and I would love to make a whole series on YouTube about you know, unsafe workplaces and the amazing accidents that happen from that. But today we had a little bit of an OSHA quandary that was happening. We were lifting rocks up out of a ditch, and of course there's a guy in the ditch, and the rocks are eventually going over his head. So the rocks are going to be like way over his head. And if a chain breaks, you know, obviously the guy's not going to be standing under it, you know, but we were wondering, like, hey, are hard hats, you know, good for this? And the conclusion that we came to was, you know, we should probably have hard hats on if we're going to be lifting the rocks over our heads. So we stopped doing that. But if we drop an 800-pound rock on ourselves, chances are that hard hat isn't going to do anything. So we sort of had the debate, and I was half tempted to like call my aunt up and see like, hey, what is the official OSHA position on this? But knowing her, she would have been like, where you at? I'll come look at it. I'll let you know. And wow, had she caught me doing anything wrong, that would have been a fine and an ass kicking. So so what's going on in the comments here? We got a lot of stuff in the comments. So Shane Keller says, what's your opinion on safety management? I love safety management, but you know, so far I'm pretty much the only safety guy at this company. So Dean Greenstreet says, why share OSHA problems? That would be very silly. Here's the thing. I would rather get the right answer and know what's going on than be messing around and get the wrong answer and like somebody get hurt. I would rather do that stuff the right way and just get the question answered. But have you guys had any OSHA interactions? Please send me an email and all of that. I would love to hear about it. If you check out the YouTube page, we've been doing a job where we have been just pulling massive boulders out of rocks. Massive boulders out of ditches, and it is damn ridiculous is what it is. So you know, everybody jumps in the comments of TikTok, you know, YouTube and all of that, and they say, hey, are you hiring? And the answer is, like, of course, like, everybody's hiring, okay? But you're not going to get a job in the chat for them. But you've got to send that to the right spot. And I'll go ahead and throw something in the chat right here. That is the email address for you to send a resume if you you know, think that this is a job for you. Zach Attack says, I need a recommendation on a soil scientist that serves Catawba County. Dude, we actually brought somebody in-house that we're training to be a soil scientist. So I have no soil scientist recommendations for you at all. Man. Michael Smith says it's funny because the one side of my job is landscaping restoration. We have to wear hard hats and gloves and vests. You know, I honestly don't understand why they don't make people wear vests. Like all the cable guys and telephone guys have to wear vests. And the septic guys are out there with holes in the ground and hoses and all of that stuff and no vest. So Michael Smith says, would you hire me? I have no sense of smell. All right, so another question for you. I am wanting to do like a fundraiser or a challenge or something like that for employee housing. I want to increase the amount of employee housing that we have. And I am curious what you guys think would be a challenge that I could do or do with other Tick-Tock creators that would generate some revenue to add to the employee housing. So if you have any ideas, please shoot me over an email. I would absolutely love to see that. So Captain Charisma says, actually, I can't talk about OSHA here. Texas local governments actually don't need to worry of OSHA. Interesting. So OSHA cannot govern basically, I think it's 4 groups of people. You are 100% safe from OSHA if you are doing a family farming operation that is like close relatives. So, you know, if dad tells you to go in the silo and you fall in the grain and die, you know, close relative, OSHA, they don't have a lot to say. OSHA has pretty much no control over any group that another federal organization has control of. So if you're in like mining and stuff like that, the mining safety group is going to take care of that, unless of course they give it back to OSHA. But I like Rains Cummins says 100% support of OSHA. I do. There are some things that make me scratch my head, but you know, that is the nature of the beast. So some sort of field day competition, bet on the people, laugh out loud. Okay. So yeah, I would love to do some sort of competition or whatever. What I'm trying to do is increase the amount of employee housing that I have. There's a piece of property that's come up for sale, and I want to definitely buy that and use it as employee housing. So any ideas that you guys had on that would be awesome. And Lillian just said MSHA is the mining safety group. And I've heard that. So in any event, if y'all are complaining about that, come to the oil field. Middle of nowhere, nothing around, nothing above. Hard hats, gloves, reflective shirts, fire retardant clothing, and gas monitoring. I have heard that working in the mining fields is super dangerous. I wonder, like, how often is OSHA actually out in the mining fields? So, Michael Myers says, we avoid OSHA issues as much as possible. I'm a manufacturing electrician, and we do the bare minimum OSHA compliance. Wow. Okay, there you go. OSHA definitely has their place. And the thing is every once in a while, you'll get an OSHA inspector that's, like, gone off their rocker. But most of the ones that I've run into show up at a job site and are like perfectly reasonable. Like I don't understand why people lose their mind with OSHA, except if they're doing something blatantly wrong. There's a local construction company in my town, and they were doing a job at the airport, and they had a man in a hole, 35 feet down in the hole. The hole had sewage in it. We were there to pump out the sewage, and they had absolutely no gas monitoring at all. They had no safety mechanism. They had no safety harness to retrieve him. If anything had gone wrong, this guy's just screwed. There was literally like metal rungs inside that he could climb up, but the pipe into this holding tank that's 35 feet underground is about 8 inches. And the only thing that was stopping it from filling with sewage from the other containers it was connected to was the fact that they had a rubber boot inflated, or a rubber bulb inflated on the inside of it. So this guy's in this thing. It is mostly empty. There's no gas monitoring, and it can flood out at any time. And they just expected him to, go do his job. And we pulled up, and I see this guy down in the hole, and I basically see what's going on right away. Number one, this guy doesn't want to lose his job, okay? And number two, the job has to get done. And number three, management is not there with support at all. So I make a phone call. We leave the job site. Like, hey, it's not safe. The working conditions aren't safe. I've called OSHA. I'm out of here, right? I leave. But I go across the street and get something to eat at McDonald's, and I watch OSHA show up. And it was amazing to me how quickly, once OSHA showed up, number one, the supervisor came down. The field manager came down. The foreman came down. And amazingly, all the proper safety equipment was in the back of their trucks. It was there. They just didn't give it to this guy to do his job. And part of the burden is on him because he should have asked for that equipment. But part of the burden was on management for not making sure that it was being followed. So, I mean, do I like to call OSHA on people? No, absolutely not. Do I sometimes feel that it is necessary? Yeah. It was very possible for that guy to freaking die. So, yeah, we wanted to take care of that. So, let's see. Sneetches says, question for personal management. I work as a member of a team of 4 skilled workers. It takes a year to train a new person. One team member is not very motivated and generates animosity on the team. Listen, I'm actually dealing with that problem right now. I've got an employee who just complains about everything. And the very simple fact is there's a culture at work, and generally in the trades, in the blue collar culture, there is an attitude of, let's just get it done. We're going to have fun while we do it. We're going to listen to music. We're going to, whistle while we work, whatever. We're definitely going to make fun of each other and tell jokes that shouldn't be told, but we're going to get the job done. And if you've got somebody on the team that is creating animosity, you need to get them off the team. Like, okay, it takes a year to train somebody. Either A, talk to them and tell them to, straighten up and fly right, or B, kick them off the team. Listen, you can replace that person. There are other skilled workers out there that can replace him. It is not a requirement to keep that person on the team. So, Captain Christmas says, I think the only time that we deal with OSHA is when a death occurs. Like a couple of years ago, a fellow city employee at the transfer station was run over by a front-end loader. OSHA arrived that day. I bet they did. Listen, there is a well contractor in my town, okay? One of the biggest well contractors in town. He was doing a job and had a workplace accident, and a employee lost a finger, okay? Amputated, couldn't be sewn back on, lost it, gone forever, okay? And this guy doesn't, nobody reported that to OSHA. I found out about it, months later. I don't know if it's too late to do something, but it's not my company, not my business. I'm certainly not going to interject myself into that, but how do you have a unsafe work environment where somebody loses a finger, and then when they've lost the finger, convince them not to call OSHA? There probably should have been a safety investigation on an amputation, but in any event, let's see what else. Night H2O says, we love OSHA. Lazy and stupid people don't like OSHA. This is the thing. If you're there to do the job and do it safely, OSHA's not going to be a problem. Following safety procedures is going to slow you down in the short term, but in the long term, you're going to be able to keep doing that job for years and years and years and years. So OSHA definitely, and it's not even really OSHA. It's just do the job the right way and be safe about it. Eric B says, I've worked for places that have OSHA paperwork posted but never seen OSHA themselves. One place I was doing abrasive blasting with a sliding door and holes in the wall of the room. Yeah. The thing is we had somebody file an OSHA complaint against us. We fired an employee, and we fired him. It was actually a friend of Taylor's. You know, Taylor, the guy that ran into the guardrail. It was a friend of his. So we hired his buddy, and his buddy had a little bit of an attitude and shows up at a job site and yells across the yard, "Yo, James, we need to talk." He was upset about something, but the way he said it was just blatantly disrespectful, and that didn't need to be handled at a job site in front of a customer. So we fired him. And that's perfectly fair because he's new. We were trying him out, and I didn't like his attitude, and I didn't like his work ethic, and he was going to go anyway, but that seemed like a good way to go. So whenever he left, he filed an OSHA complaint against us. Okay. OSHA didn't come out for the complaint. And it wasn't because they know me, okay? It was because OSHA's standard procedure, at least in my area, is they don't come out for the complaint. They sent a letter. The letter said, hey, listen, there's been this complaint that you don't provide safety equipment. Please send us proof that you provide safety equipment, and we'll get rid of this. So we sent them proof that we purchased the safety equipment. We basically sent them all the Amazon invoices that said, you know, hey, we've bought the safety equipment. And they just dismissed the complaint. No OSHA inspector actually came out, looked at the trucks to see if we actually had the safety equipment. They just dismissed it. So on one hand, I wish that OSHA took like a more active role. But on the other hand, do you really want OSHA crawling up every business's ass every time they get a malicious complaint because they fired somebody, and that's the first thing somebody does whenever they get fired is, you know, oh, I'm going to complain and see what else. Saber-Tooth Duck says, OSHA is a hammer in a world of screws and holes. Absolutely. Let's see. Mary Cottingham says, how does the ER not report the missing finger? That's what I want to know. Like, seriously. So, in any event, you know, from what I understand, the guy that lost the finger is still employed there, which I just don't understand. So, it kind of makes me wonder if there was like a payoff that happened. It is what it is. Now, Happy Ogre says, in my experience, OSHA's useless. They ignore company violations and only worry about individual violations. I mean, like, check this out. To some extent, I would agree with that, but the other thing is my biggest problem with OSHA is never OSHA. It's always somebody imposing some rule that they say is OSHA that isn't actually OSHA. That's my gripe. It's like a safety manager who's like, we're going to require all employees to wear gloves on this site. Sir, there's no requirement for us to wear gloves. We don't need gloves on this site. As a matter of fact, using gloves on this site would make it more difficult and unsafe to do our job. So it's sort of like we went to a safety briefing about using chainsaws. Okay. Why are we wearing leather gloves while using chainsaws? And basically a more experienced safety manager came in and was like, look, we're not wearing gloves. It needs to be bare skin when you're using a chainsaw. And apparently, and I'm not a chainsaw expert, okay? I just had to attend the freaking meeting. Apparently, there's this thing that you're safer and better off when using a chainsaw if you're not wearing gloves, because the glove can get bound up and pull your whole arm in, okay? Whereas if it's just your skin, you can pull your hand away from the chainsaw. I have no idea. I'm not a chainsaw guy, so don't freaking take my word for that. So, fun disclosure. Sorry, Saber-Tooth Duck says, fun disclosure. I was an OSHA inspector for over 20 years. Half these comments are clueless. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Scrapping Together says, hello, started watching you on TikTok and found you here, man. That's awesome. I super appreciate it. We're trying to switch over to YouTube, and I'll give you a honest reason why. TikTok pays about $20 to $50 a day. Every once in a while, you may hit $100 a day on TikTok if you have like 2 videos hit 1 million or something like that. YouTube pays hundreds of dollars a day. Although YouTube lives like this really hurt your analytics and drive down your money, from what I understand. But YouTube pays much better. So if I'm going to go out and slave in the heat and then come back in the office and enjoy the air conditioning in my office, hey, I would like to make some money while I do it. So hopefully I can entertain you guys and make some money. So Zach Attack says, any GSWs reported at the hospital, you think it would be just as easy to report dismemberment? Absolutely. Like, and I have heard that it's a law that they have to report gunshot wounds. But you would think that they would have to report, something that was blatantly like a workplace injury. Like that should be reported to OSHA. I think that's just my opinion. But speaking of gunshots, I don't know if I've told you guys this or not, but I had an employee that this did not happen while he was at work, but he got shot. So he was at his house, middle of the night, like 2 o'clock in the morning, right? This guy's at his house, gets up in the middle of the night, has to use the bathroom. He lives in a trailer, walks in, uses the bathroom, sitting on the toilet. Apparently, the neighbor, which is like his sister or something, got into an argument with her boyfriend. The argument, ensues. They shove each other. Their shoving match turns into somebody pulls a gun. Boyfriend pulls a gun, fires. The bullet misses the sister or whatnot, flies through that trailer into the other trailer and hits my guy in the stomach while he's taking a shit. Bullet pierces the skin, all that stuff. And he does not go to the hospital. As a matter of fact, he's yelling at his wife, gets his wife to get up, and goes outside and gets in a fist fight with the guy that had the gun. Which, I don't know. Like, if I just got shot in the stomach with a .38, I'm probably not going to start a fist fight with the guy that shot me. And no, this was not DC Lowlife. So, in any event, the fist fight ensues. He punches the guy. The guy decides that it's time to leave. As he's going to the car, he starts shooting back at the houses. Doesn't hit anything. This guy's wife comes out of the house and starts shooting at the car as it's pulling out onto the state road. So now there's this shootout in this trailer park because of some domestic disturbance or whatever. And when it's all said and done, this guy goes back into his house, my employee, goes back into his house, lays down, get his wife to pull out the bullet, and comes to work the next day on time. Shows up to work. And I just kind of looked at him. I was like, dude, you look like garbage. Did you get enough sleep? And he pulls up his shirt and shows me where he's been shot. And I mean, it's, bullet hole, but like red, bruised all the way around it. And I'm like, Jesus, is that a gunshot? And he was like, yeah. I was like, and I already knew the answer to this question because it's not stitched up. It's not sanitized. It doesn't look good. And I'm like, have you been to the hospital? He's like, nah. I'm like, sir, go to the hospital. Like, matter of fact, I will call you an ambulance. You need to go to the hospital. He's like, nah, I ain't going to the hospital. Sir, why are you not going to the hospital? He looks me dead in my eyes and was like, because mama didn't raise no bitch. Sir, go to the hospital. 2 weeks later, this thing is like, healed up or whatnot. But before that, it got wicked infected. We finally got him to go to the hospital and get like treated for the infection. But, yeah, no. So, let's see what we got here. Michael Meyer says, no gloves using anything that spins. That makes sense. Hemlock says, GSW is assaults and dog bites. Man, that dog bite thing being reported saved my butt. It wasn't even a dog bite. I got cat bit. And screw it. I'll just tell you guys this story. I ended up in the hospital getting rabies shots. So I was young. I was delivering newspapers. I threw a newspaper. It didn't go on the porch. I don't want the complaint against me. So I go under the bush where the newspaper went. And it was one of those like plants that like the leaves go out and down. And so I throw the newspaper in there, and so I go under the bush and I try to get the newspaper out, and this cat, I mean, almost like a kitten, sort of like in between being a cat and a kitten, just tears me up, bites my hand, my thumb, scratches. I mean, just freaking attack me. I come out of the bush screaming, trying to throw this cat off, and he is on my hand. Like, he's not going anywhere. Shredded my hand. I'm like, what the hell? So I call 911 because, you know, I can't drive like that. You know, I'm on a, you know, and they're like, so we're going to send animal control out. And so animal control is off duty. There's no animal control off, you know, at that time. So they send out a sheriff's deputy. And the sheriff's deputy comes out and asks what happened. I'm like, well, you know, I got, you know, bit by a cat. And I guess we kind of need to, like, catch the cat and see if the damn thing has rabies. So he goes over to the tree and, you know, parts the bushes and looks at it. And it looks like a kitten. And he's like, oh, you got fucked up by a kitten. Poor baby. And starts trying to be nice to the cat. And I was like, dude, I wouldn't mess with that cat. I would leave that cat alone. He's like, stop being a pussy. It's just a kitten. And he stuck his hand in there, and that cat freaking destroyed him. It went. I mean, this sheriff's deputy is backing up, running, all of this other stuff, trying to get this cat off of him. Finally throws the cat off of him. Cat comes right back up, climbs up his freaking leg, going right through his uniform. Both of us end up in the hospital. That cat came at him so hard, he killed the cat, okay? We go to the hospital. They test the cat. The actual animal control people came. They sent the cat off, did the whole brain analysis thing. And it was determined that that cat had rabies. So we're getting rabies shots. The thing is that cop, that sheriff's deputy, he mocked me for getting tore up by this cat, and then the cat tore him up. Well, the thing about rabies shots is you have to get them at very specific times. Like they will say, hey, listen, you need to be here tomorrow at 8 o'clock exactly. They're very, very particular about, you know, when those shots happen. They have to be timed pretty perfectly. There's an immunoglobulin and all this technical BS. So for the next, like, 10 appointments of getting these rabies shots, I forgot how many it was, but I had to see the same cop every single time. And listen, he wasn't giving me a hard time. I was giving him a hard time. Every time I saw him, I would jokingly look at him. I'd be like, oh, did the kitty witty mess you up? Because he was way worse off than I was. And of course it was all in good fun, and like we're still friends to this day and all of that other stuff. But man, yeah, the hospital definitely reported the animal bite. And I didn't realize how much stuff comes into motion whenever there's a rabies case. There's, you know, like the state lab, and then they've got, you know, like Center for Disease Control, and the state disease control people get involved, and the infectious disease control people from the hospital come down, and there's all kinds of interviews and all this other stuff. So I didn't realize that getting, you know, bit by a rabid dog turned into that big of a deal, but it definitely did. So, Fired Up says, hey, how many of you been bit by a dog and got hurt real bad? I got tore up by a husky. I actually got the freaking husky's freaking bone. One of its tooth broke off and got stuck in me. That was great getting that stitched up at the hospital. So, so Jay Sweeney asks a super awesome question. He says, hey, what's your opinion on stimulants like weed or alcohol when employees are not at work? Well, I think weed is actually a depressant. I think alcohol is a depressant. So this is the thing. I personally don't have a problem with somebody smoking whatever, okay? Here's my thing. I employ people and I pay for them to have workers' comp. So if you do something off the clock like smoke weed, when you get hurt, they're going to drug test you. And then they're not going to pay for the injury because you failed the drug test. So my only thing is as an employee, you have a right to workers' comp. And by doing drugs, you negate it. So one, you're wasting my money because I'm paying for something that's not going to help you. And two is, why would you deprive yourself of the protection that workers' comp offers you? So, I mean, sure, it's not great, but it's something, you know. So Electronics says you should do a podcast with your employees telling crazy stories. I actually want to do that. I want to bring in Taylor, and we've actually got 2 cameras, so we can do, you know, we could do a couple of things, and I would love to just tell you guys crazy stories all the time. So let's see. Space 2050 says, have you any experience on any clear cases of disintegrating or erosion due to weather at work sites during your work? Right now we're dealing with a job that is erosion. I'm pretty sure it's raining in Hendersonville, and that's destroying one of our jobs that we'll be working at, you know, tomorrow. By the way, we're working all weekend on a hellacious job. It's probably the most difficult job that we've ever done. And I've been showing pictures of this job to other septic contractors, and all of them, guys that have been in the business for 20 years, are like, holy shit, I've never seen anything like that. So I've got a couple of videos up on it on my YouTube and TikTok page, so feel free to check those out. Michael Myers says, I have to say I enjoy your short videos. Miss the days of being an entrepreneur. I enjoy making the short videos for you guys, but I have a question for you, and like, let me know. But I pay somebody to shoot the videos now. Like, I have somebody who's going around and shooting these videos in a more professional way. We've got the little sound mics, the Rode mics. Do you guys like the old style where I hold the camera and it's all shaking and I'm talking and it's a whole bunch of cut clips? Or do you prefer the style where, you know, somebody's videoing and it comes off as a little more professional? So just let me know. Dem says, I found you on YouTube. I love the vids. I'm in Greensboro. That's awesome. I super appreciate you. Denari says, being a mailman, I've been attacked by multiple animals. I can imagine that. Listen, every single dog on the planet is trying to defend the homeland from the mailman. And every day the mailman attacks, and every day the dog drives him back. Isn't it amazing? So, you know, just imagine for a second that you're a dog and you have this false sense of security. You actually think that when you bark, this guy drops his papers and leaves. Like, the life of a dog must just be amazing because he gets to defeat the mailman 6 days a week. So, Nicholas Watts says, as far as the drug test, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. You know what? Hey, I am. Listen, I can pass a drug test. No problem. Test me for any drug. Do any drug test you want. Follicle, blood, urine. I don't care. I'm fine. The thing is like, it's my employees that I worry about. So, I mean, so SPC Zippo says, how's your employees nuts? So the like, for those of you that don't know, there was a video that we caught with a huge 300-pound rock, and we're trying to get it up out of a hole, and something goes tragically wrong, and all of a sudden it starts to go on the employee. And just by like sheer miracle, we caught this on camera. The camera person was standing there, definitely earned her money that day, and, you know, caught this rock almost falling on the person. However, what we did is we cut that right at the moment where they caught it and sort of did a to be continued on it. But long story short, he's fine. They were able to catch that rock. But listen, he was down there and he's grabbing the rock, and you hear all these like masculine noises coming up, and, you know, they're grunting and all that other stuff. Vendor Man, thank you very much for that. I super appreciate. Vendor Man just sent me $10. That's our Veter Man. That is awesome. Thank you very much. So we've got him down there. He's making all these masculine noises. Taylor's helping him. Jesse's down there, and, you know, it's basically a whole bunch of like grunting, right? very deep, masculine noises. But when that rock starts to go too far and he falls down and he sees that thing coming up, his voice raised about 9 octaves. He sounded like a little schoolgirl. He was like, "Oh shit, stop it!" And everybody jumped in to like stop the rock from falling on him, which was great. But it was funny to me to be there and see it, but then also to watch the video, because when it happens, like, you see it, but you don't get to like examine it, So being able to watch the video was great. But dude, his freaking voice. He became a 9-year-old girl that quick in his vocal cords. So, so interestingly enough, that video of him, bringing it back, we actually published it twice. And the first time that we published it, I immediately got from YouTube a copyright claim, which is almost like a copyright strike. But as a creator, you don't want copyright claims, because what I did is I put it to the music, "Oh no, 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 no," or whatever, right? I did not realize that music was copyright protected by Empire Records. So as soon as that video was published, within 5 minutes, there was a copyright claim on it, and Empire Records wanted the money for that video. Now, it didn't generate any money because YouTube Shorts pay about $1, okay? So in any event, I immediately took the video down and we redid it with royalty-free music. And that's when the woman that I pay to do the social media stuff, she came up with the idea of "To Be Continued," and it was a great idea. She is a genius at this social media, like editing and stuff like that. Does it all in the field on the phone. So, let's see. Michael Meyer says, "My daughter's cutting an avocado towards her hand as I watch this." So I have no idea if this is true or not, but I lived in an area, I want to say it was Virginia Beach, and they had a medical system there that was Centera Medical. And one of the doctors told me that the most common injury he sees in the emergency room at 8 o'clock in the morning is a laceration across the hand. And this was 20 years ago, back when like bagels were super popular, Bagels sort of made a comeback in the breakfast market. But in any event, he told this story that in the morning they get 5 or 6 people every day that slicing a bagel open and the knife goes through the bagel and just lays their hand open. And once I heard that story, like, listen, I'm the guy that you don't have, like I don't have to have it happen to me. If I hear about it happening to somebody else, I'm going to modify my behavior so that it doesn't happen to me. And I heard that story, and no more do I cut. I do not cut like this in my hand anymore. So Jay Sweeney says, "Whatever happened to the guy who stole the poop shovel from Burger King?" That was like a year ago. And I think I just posted that video to YouTube a little while ago, but I copied it off of TikTok. That guy, I have no idea, but he stole my shovel, and it was... Okay, so I'll basically tell the story real quick. I was sitting down at Burger King enjoying my favorite lunch meal from Burger King, which is the original chicken sandwich, no mayonnaise, add cheese, okay? And I'm eating my sandwich, and I always park where I can see my truck out the window. And I am eating, and I look over, and a guy pulls up next to me, and I took notice of him because when he got out of the car, he looked in the bed of the septic truck, sort of in the rail where all the tools are. And he kind of looked, and I was like, "That's suspicious." And he looked for longer than he should have. So he comes in, he orders his food, and he goes back out, and he has his food in his right hand, and he goes and he opens the door and puts the food in the car, and then he reaches over and grabs the septic shovel off of the truck. Now, we had just finished a job. The whole shaft and handle is covered in sewage because septic guys use shovels for 3 things. Number 1, we pry off lids. Number 2, we dig. And number 3, we have to stir the shit as we pump it so that it breaks up the chunks, okay? So this shovel handle is covered in fresh, juicy shit, okay? And we don't wash it off. We just wait for it to dry. We wear gloves. What does it matter, okay? And this guy just barehanded grabs it, and throws it in the back of his truck. And I'm like, no, he just fucking didn't. And I was about to like get up and say something and like interject, and I was like, to what point? Like, it's a $50 shovel. And hold on for just a sec. We got a text message. So he has this on his hands, and I'm about to go say something, but I don't want to escalate the situation because, you know, like, what the heck? Like, where's it going to go to? Is like, he going to like hit me with a shovel or something? Like, it's not worth it. It's $50. I'll buy a new shovel. But as he's leaving, he's putting food in his mouth with the hands that just touched the freaking shovel. And I'm like, it's not just the food that bothers me. I mean, it's not really just the food that bothers me. What bothers me is I'm sure that guy had a girl at the house. And what kind of gynecological disaster is going to take place when he gets a case of the wandering hands? And she doesn't know that he just raw dogged a septic shovel with his hand. Okay? Like, that just... I feel bad for his girlfriend is basically the whole thing of the story. Is like, what poor woman just had like a bacterial gynecological disaster off of that, because I'm not sure Vagisil solves that problem. So in any event, game 5 plays, says Juicy, and Michael Myers says about to eat dinner. Hey man, I hope it's a Burger King sandwich. Brandon Burdett is very juicy. That's awesome. So SPC Zippo says, whatever got you into the septic business? Honestly, it was a combination of being a real estate agent sucks, and the fact that I was watching Mike Rowe's Dirty Jobs, and he said, if you want to be happy, do something that nobody else wants to do. If you want to be successful, do something that nobody else wants to do. Find a job that nobody wants to do and go do that job. And when you're doing that job that nobody wants to do, charge for it. Charge for it because nobody wants to do it. And, man, that really resonated with me that that I should get out of the real estate business. And I went into the septic business, and there's this amazing guy named Kenneth who basically took me under his wing. I knew jack diddly crap about septic whenever I started. And Kenneth, you know, basically looked at me and was like, hey, whippersnapper, come here. And just taught me all the lessons that he had to learn the hard way, and taught them to me. And I am forever indebted to him, because without him, this business would never have been. So, okay, for those of you that haven't read it, Tuesday just posted a comment that has me absolutely dying. But in order to avoid a community guidelines violation, I am not going to read it, but it is hilarious. In any event, Morning Coffee says, I'm an evil plumber. The inner demon is saying pee pee poo poo. That's funny. PCC Zippo says, Micro taught me a lot about life for sure. And that is super awesome. I learned so much from Micro. He is like one of my idols. One day, I actually hope to meet him. Shane Keller, holy crap. 1999. That's awesome. Thank you. He says, so let me finish with the Mike Rowe thing, and then we'll go straight to that. But I actually want to meet Mike Rowe, and we have accomplished a couple of the same things together. He was in sales. I was in sales. He was an Eagle Scout. He is an Eagle Scout. I am an Eagle Scout. He supports small business. I am a small business. I really feel like we would have good things to talk about. So one of my life goals is to meet Mike Rowe, not just like shake his hand, but actually like sit down and have a cup of coffee with the guy. So let's go back to Shane Keller with the $19.99 gifts. First off, I super appreciate it. And his question is, ever thought about being a contractor with Fedex? I could see you being successful one, and I'm pretty sure FedEx would actually like you. So I actually went down and applied for a job at FedEx many, many years ago. And I don't know if what I'm saying is technically correct today or if it was ever correct. But the way that I understood it is that FedEx has employees that do like FedEx work for like the critical stuff. But for a lot of it, maybe like FedEx Ground or whatever, they use a lot of independent contractors or, contract labor. And so whenever I went down to FedEx to apply for a job, I didn't realize that I wasn't applying for like FedEx Inc., that I was actually like applying with one of these like owner operators. They just needed a hand where they basically buy the route. So they pay FedEx thousands of dollars for the route. And then Samuel McBride, thank you so much, but I'll get to that in just a minute. So I went down and applied for this job, and the guy offered me minimum wage to wake up and be there at 4 o'clock in the morning, help load the truck, and then, basically assist on the route. And honestly, I needed a job, but minimum wage. I actually went and got a job at McDonald's, making $2 more than minimum wage. And at that time, that was what I needed in my life. But I almost became a FedEx contractor. And who knows, maybe that could have turned into me owning several routes and running FedEx and all of that stuff. So I don't know, but FedEx is always a company that just fascinates the shit out of me, because how do you get something from Paris, France to the United States in 18 hours? Like, how does that happen? I've got a buddy who mailed me something from Russia. FedEx had it here in 19 hours. How does that even happen? So, Seamus McBride, hey man, I wish YouTube had more of your brand of content. Too many people want to be famous for being lazy, and you're a much better role model. Man, I super appreciate that. This is the thing. I never in a million years would have thought that I would get as popular on social media as I have. 1.8 million followers on TikTok, 20,000 followers on Instagram, and YouTube is at 120,000 followers with 15 million views in the last 30 days. I had no idea that I would get this big. And it all started with just a bet with my kids. So, I'm super, super grateful, and I enjoy it. I really enjoy getting on here and like telling you guys stories. And by the fact that this live was not announced at all, nobody knew about it. It was a last minute thing, and there is 167 people watching this live. That is absolutely amazing. And SPC Zippo says, here's $50. Go buy yourself a shovel and paint it gold for us. Actually, thank you, but you don't have to replace my shovel. But that story happened a while ago. Man, you guys are very, very generous. That's awesome. Thank you. So Troublemaking Pups says, Micro stayed at my sister's inn. He's a very nice person. Like, some people you can just watch on TV and tell that they are like a super nice person, okay? Like, whenever I see like and listen, I don't know if I'm right or not, but like people like Mike Rowe, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, people like this, that I look at and I'm like, man, they've got to be just awesome people in real life. I get that feeling off of Mike Rowe. So, let's see. Shade Tree says, I've done body recovery things, been on crime scenes, chemicals, blah, blah, blah. Septic, nope. Listen, I hear that from so many people, but I'm here to tell you, septic is not nearly as bad as you guys think it is, okay? Like, Listen, in the world of waste disposal, porta-john pumpers and trash guys have it way worse than us. So, you know, if you had to go with one, go with Septic. So, or, you know, or God, I don't know. Let's see. Shane Keller, ground drivers are contracted. That's, oh, okay. So what I thought I remembered was actually right. Jay Sweeney says, have you ever thought about the water, fire, mold, and sewage restoration business? Yes, I have. The problem is the local players in my area are so crooked, I really don't want to be associated with them. And so I really haven't looked at getting into that business. Hey guys, one thing, and this is brand new, this has only been seen on one other video ever, but I got Septic Happens t-shirts on my merch store. I absolutely love them. I'm letting the guys wear them to work if they want to. So it's going to be authorized for company uniform, but you know, feel free to check out the merch store if you want a Septic Happens t-shirt. But I'm here to tell you, it is probably not a good idea to wear that if you're a nurse or in cancer treatment. And that got pointed out to me by a nurse. But yeah, this is meant to be about septic, like the septic business, not somebody going septic. So please, Seamus McBride again. Holy cow, dude, $20. It's the working audience. We all have a bit of scratch in our pockets. You plugged into a good ROI community. That's funny. That is hilariously funny. Thank you, sir. You know, and that's the thing that I absolutely love about my audience, because I have such a mixture of people that walk up to me and say hi. And I have attracted, so I'll give you the sort of demographics of, well, as much as Tick-Tock will break it down. 75% of my audience is men, 25% of my audience is women. And that sort of makes sense for my content. And then my age range is generally in the 25s to 35s. But what those people end up being is like working class American people. Well, working class everywhere, because I'm finding out that my content is popular in Canada and New Zealand and Switzerland and, you know, Bulgaria. I just found out that I have 3 followers in Iran. So, but I love being a part of this community that literally is just this working class group of people that I can get on here and ask a question to. Like I had an engine problem with one of my engines, and I did a go live at 10 o'clock at night in the pitch black. My brother was holding the flashlight and the camera as I'm trying to work on this small engine, and I had no less than 30 people jump in the live that were small engine mechanics, and they were telling me exactly how to fix it. Like, seriously, you can't get tied in with a better group of people than you guys. So thank you very much. Sabertooth Duck says, Micro drinks beer, The Rock crushes cans on his head. It sounds like the two of them should be friend. Sewage over grease any day, says Sam McAllister, and that is the absolute truth. Sorry, I'm not working through these comments as quickly as I could have been, but yes, anybody who's worked in grease trap business knows definitely you want to be in the sewage business. So, Micro did serve his crew before himself, believes in humility. You know, I actually read that somewhere. I don't know if it's true or not, but I read it somewhere. And one of the lessons that I learned from Micro is if you have guys that are working for you, and they're out there busting their ass, working their ass off, and you're there with them, buy them lunch. Don't make them buy their own lunch. Buy them lunch, okay? And that is exactly what I try to do every single day that I'm out there with the crew. For instance, today, we took the guys out to Pie Squared Pizza, which is this amazing Detroit or Chicago, I don't know, one of the violent cities. It's, you know, this amazing pizza place, and you know, I buy them, you know, lunch. The day before that, we had Chick-fil-A delivered right to the job site. But what I learned from Mike Rowe is if you have people that are like busting their ass, like, buy their lunch. And that has worked out very, very good for me because it is it creates almost like a sense of loyalty, and the guys know that I appreciate what they do. So Fishing with Big Mike just sent me $10. Thank you very much, sir. Seriously, you guys do not have to send me money. I am here to take YouTube's money. I am not here to take you guys' money. Like, obviously, I appreciate it. And every bit of money that I raise here on YouTube is going to employee housing. So that's what we're using the money for. Thank you very much. But he says, 43-year-old heavy equipment operator here. Love the content. Keep up the great work. Man, I super appreciate you. I really, really do. And whenever we get to buy this additional piece of land with a trailer on it, and we're going to expand out the employee housing, trust me, my employees will appreciate it too. So Michael Myers says, I started HVAC at 27 and never stopped growing. Absolutely. And listen, anybody in the HVAC business, holy shit, how do you guys do it? Like, I cannot imagine it. Because if you think about it for a second, if you're in the HVAC business, you're never comfortable while you're working. Think about it. You show up at a place, it's the middle of summer. What's broke? The air conditioning. Oh, okay, so you have to go into a hot building to fix it. And then you got to go into the onto the hot roof, which is like the hottest part of the city, to fix it. Okay? Like, how do you guys stay cool? Okay? Like, everywhere you work is uncomfortable. In the winter, you're just like double screwed. Like, I can't imagine that. Why are you there? Because the heat broke. Okay, so now you're cold in the winter. Like, listen, HVAC guys have my utmost respect. I don't understand how you guys do it every day. Like, I seriously don't think I could. Like, wow. Tyler Ash says, James, I'm a local near you. I actually work for MB Haynes Electric here, and I live in Haywood County. What's going on, Tyler? I believe my son works for MB Haynes HVAC. So maybe you know him. Michael Smith says, Jantax, I am Bud, my wife, and my son get it bad, even though I'm in consistent contact with him. Be safe. I don't know what Jantax is, and I didn't quite understand your message, Michael Smith, but go ahead and type it again. Morning Coffee says, I'll take their money. Well, I'm going to take their money and, like, use it, you know, for a stated purpose, but hydraulic operators. There you go. Michael Smith says, my wife says it's because I eat too much hot food. Well, I don't eat hot food anymore because I found out that you pay the price for that later. So, Gary Ryder says, my wife worked for a company that worked on dirty jobs. She met him twice, and he was always cool. A few years later, we were on vacation, and he was there. He recognized her, and we had drinks. Dude, I'm so envious of you because, like, seriously, whenever I look at, like, who my childhood, heroes are and stuff like that, it is the people like Mike Rowe of the world. Like, listen, sure, I like actors. Like, I like Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I like, Jason Statham. I like Jackie Chan. But, like, seriously, Mike Rowe. And then there was another guy, Mike Holmes, that did Homes on Homes. Like, that guy was amazing. So, let's see. Jeffrey DeShazo says, HVAC sucks here in Arizona. Can you imagine being in the desert and doing HVAC? That is ridiculous. So, Jimmy Chandler, hey, I need a well rock. I live like 40 miles from Weaverville. Jimmy Chandler, listen, the guy that made well rocks did not die, but I'm going to hook you up with a secret. You do not need to buy a well rock from me. You can literally go on Amazon and they will deliver that shit to your house, but make sure that you get the well rock that says Decora well rock. You do not want the fiberglass one. You want the plastic one. It costs a little bit more, but Amazon is going to be cheaper than me, and they're probably going to have it to you faster because I'm a week out right now on work. SPC Zippo says, I think I interviewed with MB Haynes when I lived in North Carolina. Man, everybody has worked for MB Haynes. That place must have like a revolving door because half the people I interview were like, yep, I was with MB Haynes. Jay Sweeney says steam cleaning sucks too. Imagine steaming cleaning a stairwell with no AC in Florida in 98-degree weather with hot steam. Holy shit. Yes. But this is the thing. These are the jobs that people don't want to do, and so they're going to pay you well to do it, or at least you should be making them pay you well to do it. Big Mike Fishing again. Holy crap, guys. Absolutely love a business owner like you. Need more like you. Here's another 10 spot for them. Sir, I super appreciate it, sir. Let's see. Jantex, Michael Smith, that is Vax. Got it. Have you ever found a deer in a tank? We have not. I have no recollection on a deer in a tank. Thoughts on unions? Seamus McBride, $10, says this is earmarked for a drink. Thank you very much, sir. You guys are totally, totally awesome. 22 Watts says thoughts on unions. Here's the deal. I've worked for unions. I was part of the Wiremen's Union, or CWA, Communication Workers of America. I made pretty good money. I liked the union. They didn't do a lot for me. I liked being part of something, but they didn't do a lot for me. But ultimately, if you compare union wage for what we do and the wage that I pay the guys, my guys make more than union wage. So, like, in this area, I tend to shy away from a union. But if I was in an area that had more unions, or the unions were stronger, I think I would probably be pro-union. But again, it depends on the union. Like, some unions are just crazy. So unions are a thing that you have to take case by case, and it's just a lot of thought goes into that. So Seamus McBride, thank you again for the $10. I super appreciate that. Let's see. The Well Rock Saga. Matt, I live in Arizona, did construction for 2 to 3 years. The heat is not fun. Absolutely. Michael Smith says, my honeymoon. That's awesome. Jennifer DeShazio says, attics suck even more when it's 115 degrees out and 155 in the attic. For a brief amount of time, I was a cable installer because I learned how to do all that stuff when I worked for the telephone company. So I went and did it for the cable company after the union laid off 5,000 people. We would have to go in attics. And it was so hot in the attic, you had to call into dispatch and say, I'm going in an attic. And they would call you back in 10 minutes and make sure you hadn't passed out while you were in the attic. One time, I didn't answer the phone whenever they called, and they sent the fire trucks to this customer's house. So, Michael Huffman, $10. One, thank you, sir. Let's read this message. It says, I appreciate that you're using the money for much respect. I'm a retired fence contractor. Question, ever had a septic company punch a hole in a septic that you had to repair? All the time, sir. All the time. By the way, Michael Hoffman, I just hired a fencing guy. And the amount of work that we have him do, he says is the easiest day he ever had while fencing. Installing fences and stuff like that. He is a super, super hard worker. But absolutely, to answer your question, all the time, we had to go do a job in Hendersonville. The fencing contractor put the post right through the freaking drain line, killing the entire septic system for this house. And we had to go fix that. The job we're at right now, they put the fence post, concreted it right to the septic tank. So the tank is supporting the fence post, cracked it. We've got to fix that. So yeah, all the time we have to, deal with, fencing guys. And listen, I don't blame them. They're not septic guys, but it happens. So let's see. Troublemaking Pup says, I appreciate you. Many years ago, I worked in a few skilled labor sweatshops. Poor pay, no benefits, no breaks, pay cuts, sometimes not paid, overtime. Listen, about that, dirty and dangerous, but about that, I am shocked at the number of people that don't get paid for the work that they do. Whenever I have people come to work for me and I hear them being like, hey, are we getting paid for this? I'm like, why would you not be? There's so many people that, like, their bosses tell them, oh, this work isn't paid. And I'm like why are people being lied to? So Jesse Griffin says, I do commercial roofing When we do black rubber roofs on an 80-degree day, it'll be 140 or higher. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. So I did insulator work in boiler rooms where it was 140, 150 for the Neo Corporation in Waynesville. And we worked at the paper mill in the digester room. And that work was grueling. Dave Johnson. Okay. Dave Johnson says, I'm a government worker and you inspire me to actually contribute to society. Oh my God, that is great, Dave. So my dad is a government worker. I'm not going to say, who or wherefore or whatnot, but that is his big thing is, government workers actually benefiting society. And I think in most cases that they definitely do. But I love the fact that that you said that. So. So Jay Sweeney says, would you consider using a mini excavator or a Bobcat to dig out a septic tank? Why or why not? So we do use mini excavators because of the depth. We would not use a Bobcat because they can't reach the proper depth and they would get stuck in the hole. So there is the answer to that question. Alan Lawson, how about carpet cleaning dorm rooms in the summer? Oh my God, no. Hey, y'all coming to Cameron, North Carolina, first time catching you live. That is awesome. Hello to you guys in Cameron, North Carolina. That's Hillbilly Vagabond. Fired up. Have you ever had to fight a wild animal? Yeah, apparently you guys knew the exact question to get a story out of me. Yes, I have had to fight a wild animal. No, it was not the wild animal like you're thinking. It was a freaking squirrel. So, a very brief story. Sorry, I'm not getting to the comments. Very brief story. I worked for the cable company installing cable. I climbed up a telephone pole. It was a spot pole, so I was going to be, running cable from a main pole to the spot pole and then to the house. And I get up to the top, and there is a squirrel running towards the spot pole. And it's the middle of winter. I've got all kinds of layers on and my hard hat and, my reflective vest and a leather jacket underneath that. And this squirrel freaking attacks me and he didn't get skin, right? He's tearing up my leather jacket. He's barking. I didn't know squirrels could bark. And he's tearing everything up. And I've got big lineman's gloves on, so the squirrel can't really do much to me. It's the middle of winter. He's not getting to my neck. I grab the squirrel and I throw him down. And my ground guy is laughing at me this whole time because this squirrel is kicking my fucking ass, right? Like I'm hooting and hollering and screaming and all that other stuff. And I throw this squirrel down to the ground. And apparently I've pissed off this squirrel. I must have said bad shit about his father or something because this squirrel comes right back up the telephone pole and starts tearing into my jeans and my jacket, climbs right back up, and I throw him right down again. We repeated these shenanigans 3 times, and the guy that I worked with, his name was Chris, he's on the ground. There's snow on the ground. He's laughing his ass off at me. Not doing anything to help me, okay, because he can't. I'm 20 feet up in the air, just laughing at me. But it freaking occurred to me that I'm in a battle with a squirrel, okay? And by all accounts, I'm not winning. Like I keep throwing this thing away. It's taking a 20-foot fall to the ground and coming right back at me. Like, if the squirrel made me take a 20-foot fall to the ground, I'd be down for the count. But magically, through the world of physics, this squirrel can take a 20-foot fall and come back and try to kill me. So after we spent about 5 minutes of the squirrel trying to murk me on a telephone pole, I finally just hit him with a wrench, and, well, he wasn't a squirrel anymore. So, in any event, yes, I have had to fight a wild animal, but it's not nearly as impressive as what I would like. But I do have a Russian that works for me, and I'm pretty sure that they fight bears on the daily basis. So, and listen, if you've ever met like an actual Russian from Russia, yes, you will 100% believe that they fight bears on a daily basis. That is an incredibly tough group of people. Very, very hardworking, determined people. So, where is everybody from? Norway here, says Game 5 Plays. That's awesome. Dean Greenstreet, if you're talking about Jesse, that was, we basically barely caught that rock in time. So, Hillbilly Vagabond says, any advice for someone just getting back into the workforce? Yes. Man, I need another carbonated soda. I'm going to... Oh, never mind. I'll drink an old one here. Oh, God, that's nasty. Okay. Any advice for somebody just getting back into the workforce? Man, seriously, enjoy it and ask for more money. That is my biggest advice to anybody out there is like, look, get more money. I think the economy is going to take a major dive, and get a good job that pays well. Let's see. Michael Smith says squirrels are like honey badgers. I'm 6'4" and have had a few fights with them. Wait, there's other people that have fought squirrels? Like, are you kidding me? Is this a thing? Do squirrels like randomly attack people? I had absolutely no idea. Literally, I thought I was the only one that attacked squirrels. Holy crap, Charles. Thank you very much. Okay. For those of you that don't know, I traditionally drink LaCroix. Okay. This is pretty much the only thing that I drink as a joke. Some people in my life got me this. This is Liquid Death sparkling water. There's no alcohol in this. So YouTube, chill out with the demonetization. But it is just carbonated water. But look, the size of the can by comparison. Okay. And they came up with the name Liquid Death. You should go look up these guys' advertising video that's on YouTube whenever we're done with this. Liquid Death has the most ridiculous ad video out there on YouTube. I think there's like abominable snowmen and chainsaw massacres and people being hit with cars, all in the same animated ad. So, Fired Up says, gotta go, bye. Sir, I will see you later. Somebody in from Texas, north in the Canadian nutsack, Minnesota. That's awesome. Southern California, Iceland, Ohio, Texas, bros, rise up. That's awesome. Look up the meth squirrel from North Alabama. I'm going to have to do that now. Somebody says, I usually drink milk. Good for you. How bad does the heat affect your job? I mean, it doesn't really, because the whole... Like, one of the great things about working septic is, for the most part, when you're in a pump truck, you're going to get out of an air-conditioned truck. You're going to go work for 30 minutes. You're going to get back into an air-conditioned truck. Excuse me. So, like, this is one of those jobs that is kind of nice, you know. So, Jay Williams, I live in Weaverville, North Carolina. King coal is as dead as fuel, can be used in other ways. I have no idea what that is, but okay. Oklahoma, now Idaho. James, yes, squirrels are like Mondo offenders. Okay. I had no idea. That's a great ad. Let's see, Texas. Famous words we hear but don't use, wipes. Yes, absolutely. Choo-choo rooter bean. Do not use wipes. And let's see. Forced name change. Okay, so first off, I want to hear the story about why there was a forced name change, but thank you for the $10. Hello, James. I love your rant videos. I, too, am in the trades. Awesome. I do concrete. Holy shit, you do concrete. We only do fancy stuff now. Yeah, because it probably pays more. I used to build huge dairy barns, but I had to get out. I couldn't stand that bullshit. That's awesome. You know, listen, every once in a while we have to wait on concrete, and I learned a lesson about concrete. This is what I learned. I learned that all men wait on concrete, but concrete waits on no man. And basically what that means is the concrete truck is always late, and you'll stand around waiting for it. But once it's there, the concrete is not going to wait on you. It will dry whether you're done with it or not. It just doesn't care. So we got somebody in here who says Micro Rocks, Dean Greenstreet. Absolutely. Hemlock says, I chased a chipmunk in my cabin in summer camp. It launched itself into the air at me. I still remember how huge its rodent fangs seemed as it flew at me. Thank God I was good at dodgeball. Okay, so that is the thing. Like, guys, like, go look up these small animals that you think are, like, relatively harmless. They have teeth that will mess you up. One of the scariest things that I have ever looked at, okay? is go look at what a penguin's mouth looks like when it's open. Just Google that on your phone at some point. A penguin's mouth. That is the most evil shit I have ever seen in my life, okay? I would rather be eaten by a shark than eaten by a giant penguin. Just gonna put it out there. Let's see. It's 3 a.m. here, so I'll hop off and go catch the next one. Listen, I did not know it was 3 a.m. where you're at, but a good night. Enjoy your sleep. I would not stay up to 3 a.m. to listen to me, so I appreciate you, bud, a lot. Morning Coffee says, how about flushable wipes? I actually want a t-shirt that says say no to flushable wipes. Flushable wipes are the worst thing you can do for your septic system, but avoid the flushable wipes. Let's see, Liquid Death, that is, yes, it is Liquid Death. And no, I'm not sponsored by them, and this is literally like the third can I've ever had. So, I don't know, maybe I should get sponsored by Liquid Death and just drink their stuff online. Like, that's the coolest name of a drink ever, okay? Like, seriously, these people need to sponsor me, because I would drink this online. Let's see. I'm a mom and a care provider in Oregon. Love your videos. Watch everyone. I super appreciate you. I really, really do. So, let's see. Brandon Burnett says, you and everyone else can't handle the dairy farm work. Yeah, dairy farm work is rough, dude. Alan Lawson, the pay starts at $16.69 and goes up to $28.13. That's awesome. Somebody says, what's up, dude? Hello, Hillbilly Ward. Ella Bannock. Hi, friend. As someone who has OSHA 10 and OSHA 30 certifications as an electrical technician, I fucking hate OSHA because regulars visit my site from certain times and nail us for the smallest things. You know what? Yeah, but it's the small things that matter. Like, I know it's a pain in the ass. I do. And some OSHA inspectors are just assholes. Some of them are. It's just a fact of life. But, like, today, we had no reason to be wearing safety glasses today. But we did. And it saved my ass. So, you know. Out of nowhere, I got hit in the face with something. I had no idea. So, Hillbilly Ward says, where are you? I am in Weaverville, North Carolina. Steven Summers says, holy cow, I caught you live. Yes. Yes, you did. How are you, sir? And SPC Zippo, I think, like, seriously, you guys do not have to give me money. I am not here to take your money, but I appreciate it. We are putting it towards employee housing. We are trying to buy a piece of property for employee housing. But I super appreciate the $10. And let's see what it says. It says, since a few have asked you but missed it, where are you and your company located? Sorry that I missed it, but yes, we are in Weaverville, North Carolina, which is just north of Asheville, North Carolina. And I actually live 1 mile outside of town. So I live in a great spot. I can be in the forest in about 5 minutes. I can be at Walmart in about 5 minutes. It's amazing. So, Google a shaved bear. Okay, but after we do the live. I'm not going to do that live. Last time somebody got me to Google something on live, YouTube took down the live for, like, violations. So we're not going to do that again. Jason Shepard says, I was a tow truck driver. So was I. But a week ago, my work truck exploded on me and sent me to the hospital. No, I can't work. I'm in too much pain. Dude, people don't realize being a tow truck driver is a dangerous, dangerous job. So, I was a tow truck driver. I drove a UD flatbed rollback, and that was back when Clinton was president. And I got to tell you, I made a lot of money. I made a lot of money driving a tow truck. I don't know if the industry is still good. I would imagine it is, but you can make a lot of money on a tow truck. Yes. Paul Krieg says, this is some fancy water. It is fancy water. I did not pay for it. It was bought for me by somebody who cares about me very, very much. It was more or less bought as a joke, but they got me a whole case of it, and it is incredibly good. So there we go. Charles Butler says, just because you can flush something doesn't mean you should. Hello, Charles. Let me see. Was trying to do something there. Trying to find Charles in the chat. There we go. Add moderator. Okay. Charles, you're now a moderator. I just figured out how to do that. You should be proud of me. Somebody said something. Liquid death is supposed to be glacier water from the Alps. That's what they say it is. You know, Fedex man wrote his thesis on doing what is now FedEx. The professor failed him. That is the problem with education, is a lot of these academics don't see exactly how the real world actually works. Ella Bannox is going to go back to my show. Back's killing me. Have fun with the stream. I super appreciate it. Wish we had a boss like you in Shelton, Washington. Thank you. SPC Zippo says, you do any fishing? I've always wanted to go fishing, and I have been fishing a couple of times, but like as a kid with like a $10 fishing pole. What I want to do is like go fishing for real, you know, like bass fishing or deep sea fishing or, you know, something. I'm not sure that I'm like cut out for the very gentrified like fly fishing. You know, we're going to tease the fish until it bites us. Yeah, I don't know. The other thing about fishing is fishing kind of has me fucked up because you're kind of like in a battle of wits with one of the dumbest creatures on the face of the earth. I mean, literally, this creature looks at it and goes, "Bug, I'm gonna eat it," and you're like, "Yes, I caught it," and I'm like, I don't know. Like, maybe we should hunt like bear. Like that seems like something that should be like, you know, the test of mankind. You know, like, here's a spear. Go get a bear. That to me seems like something I'd want to do. Or those crazy guys that go out like hog hunting, you know, knowing that, you know, the thing has like tusks that can like lacerate them. That seems like something I would want to do. But I do have a hard time being in a battle of wits with an unarmed creature and like trying to catch it. It just, I don't know. But maybe that's why it's called fishing and not catching. So.
Dude, have to cover the activated yeast comment in chat.
What? Where? Hold on. There's an activated yeast comment in chat.
Yes.
Oh God. Hold on. Okay, so Braden Bearden, I earned my Eagle Scout in 2013 in Newport, Rhode Island. I was a very young scout. I broke the state record for youngest scout. Let's see. I'm looking for the activated yeast. Fishing with explosives is real. Zippo. To live good in Washington State, you must make around $50,000 a year. That's true. Come to Cali, bro. I'll take you. Listen. I actually want to go to California. That's where my brother is from. Ray Gee, what is the bet with your son that you had started making videos? I will tell the story of my son in just a second. I gotta find this activated yeast comment that Charles was talking about. I'll tell you what, I can't find it. Maybe somebody can copy it into the comments. Aaron Moore says, do you hunt? Yes, I have a hunting license with bear tag. So that tells you what I want to hunt. So let's see. Josh Mustang says, hog hunting is super fun. About 10 guys with big scary ghost guns, and you get like 40 hogs. Like, sign me up, dude. Like, that's awesome. So the story of how I got into Tick-Tock with my son is basically this, okay? I was walking through the office. As a matter of fact, the same office that I'm in now. And he was on his phone, and my son was just like off in another land on his phone. And I was like, what are you doing? And he was like, it's Tick-Tock. And I was like, what is Tick-Tock? Like, all I heard was like the same song over and over and over and over again. I'm like, what is Tick-Tock? And he just kind of looks at me, and he was like, you're too old. You wouldn't understand. I was like, What? Listen, listen, I made you. Anything you can do, I can do better. All right? What is this Tick-Tock? So he showed me what Tick-Tock was, and we had this contest, and it was like, who could get the most followers? Yeah, he gave up whenever I got to like 5,000 followers. All right, so the guy that did all of the work that said activated yeast will help eat any bad bacteria and potential grease that ends up in the tank. Okay, so somebody somewhere has said that yeast is good for a septic tank. So let's cover this. Okay, yeast, whether or not it eats bad bacteria doesn't even matter. What it does is it consumes oxygen as the yeast does its thing, okay? And we're not trying to get the septic to rise. We don't need leavened septic, okay? We're not making bread out of it. But it's not really going to eat the yeast. That's an old wives' tale, and it's not me saying that. Like, there are people at NC State University that study septics, that do 10-year studies. And what they have found is that chickens and yeast and buttermilk and all of these things, when they actually go test it with science, it's not good for the septic tank. It's actually very, very bad. The spoiled milk, the buttermilk, the yeast, it doesn't help. And that's just, science. And the guy that told me that is a PhD and teaches this. And he explained some of the finer points of the science. And those particular thoughts I'm not going to share because I'm sure I would butcher them. But the people that know have said not to. Now, let's ignore all the academic knowledge. Let's just say that everybody in an academic classroom has no idea what they're talking about. In the field, every single time that I see somebody who's like, I put yeast down my tank, we open up the tank and it's a disaster. Like a disaster. Now, I will tell you, in my humble opinion, and this is not verified by science at all, but in my humble opinion, what the best thing to do for your septic tank is, and that is to be a vegan. You heard that right. Be a vegan. Because every time we go to a septic tank for a vegan, there's nothing in the tank. It's water. Like, listen, serious question. I'm not trying to be disrespectful at all. Do vegans shit? Because I've been in 10 of their septic tanks and it's water. There's no solids there. Where is the waste? So my question for the internet today is, do vegans shit? Because all the evidence I've seen is that they don't. At Vincent Ramirez, this is YouTube. That's awesome. Vincent Ramirez, got in late, my bad. What you drinking tonight? Tonight is the same thing I drink all the time. Usually it comes in the form of LaCroix, but it is Liquid Death, which is sparkling water from the Alps. It was gotten for me as a gift. I didn't actually spend my money on this. Excuse me. And it's actually pretty good. I like it. I'm not sure I like the price tag on it. I looked it up. It's expensive shit. But somebody who loves me got it for me, so I'm going to drink it. Evan Lee says, love or hate OSHA. Listen, I love and I hate OSHA. I love the fact that they keep my workers safe. I sometimes hate the jumping through hoops for meaningless stuff, but, hey, whatever. Burnett says, sir, if you want to have a close encounter with boars, you need to invest in Texas high hunting. As a teen, my family practiced catch, cut, and release as a preservation worker. That's awesome. Michael Smith, what I hate about living in an apartment is when one toilet clogs somewhere, sometimes it backflows into everyone's tubs and sinks, and I want to get out of there. But even with me working, I'm still behind. Here's the thing, guys. Everyone is behind, okay? Like, financially, we're not doing as well as we want to do. No, like there are very few people right now that are like, man, um, let's do, this, and we're just going to make all the money we want. And here's the thing, as you make more money, you need more money. So we're all behind. I know it sucks, but just know that you've got company being behind. There's a lot of people that need to make more money. SPC Zippo says, welcome. It says, welcome to Let's Talk Stories. I am going to be adding a story every week to the subscription for Let's Talk Stories, which is a subscription. We just launched that, so there's not a lot there right now, but thank you very much. There will be stuff there, I promise you. Should see the bottles of water they sell for $40 per bottle because they're made from glacial ice. Listen, guys, water is water, but hey, I get it. There's people that want pure water, and maybe some of these forever toxins and PFAS and stuff aren't in these glaciers. I don't know. In my humble experience, the best tasting water is Fiji water. I love that stuff. I just think it tastes the best. I don't know why. Supposedly it's from a volcano somewhere. Whatever. Taylor Optional says you can hog hunt from a helicopter in Texas with a machine gun. Yes, it's all legit. Please look it up. I want to. I really do. So there is a podcast on the internet called the Unsubscribed Podcast, and it is hilarious people. And my good buddy, Fat Electrician, or Nick, has been on that podcast. You should go look it up. It's the Unsubscribed Podcast on YouTube, and it's the episode with Fat Electrician. They are hilarious. And those are the kind of people that are like down in Texas and like go doing that cool shit on the weekend. As a content creator, I'm not there yet. I'm not funny enough. I'm not witty enough to be on their level and get invited to their podcast. But one day I will be. So there we go. Nathaniel Hannon, $1.99, says vegans defecate a lot, but plants dissolve. Oh my God, that is probably the actual explanation of it. So. Brandon Bennett, Let's Talk Stories are amazing. Enjoying every one of them. Thank you very much. Going through a bad economy is a good wake-up call. Listen, I don't know who said it. I want to say it was Gary V. Love him or hate him, it doesn't matter. But what he said is listen, guys, and he said this like a couple years ago. He said, listen, if you can't make it as a business owner right now, give it up. Just give it up and go to the house. If you can't make it as a business owner right now, you can't make it as a business owner. And now that times are turning tough, we just saw in our industry going from 5 local septic companies to 17 local septic companies. I don't even have that many fingers, okay? Because the times have been so good, people have stacked their cash, they got their loans, and now they're jumping into the septic business. Listen, the economy is about to put these guys out. It may put me out. I don't know. Like, listen, I'm not invincible, but the economy is going to put these guys out. So, listen, it's been so good for so long, and I personally think it's about to get rough. So, fun stuff. But yes, the economy is going to be a wake-up call. Fiji water is baller. Somebody says, I love OSHA. It's delicious. That's awesome. Jeffrey DeShazo Jr., do you still have a problem with that one employee keeping a clean truck and organized? Listen, yes. I have an employee who has a problem keeping a clean truck. But here's the other side of that story. His work is impeccable. How much am I supposed to do? His work is impeccable, but following basic rules about cleaning the truck is a disaster. So we're working with him, okay? And this is a conversation. This is a process. So SPC Zippo, oh my God. How do you feel about people? Thank you, sir, very much. Thank you for the $5. I super appreciate it. The super chat. How do you feel about people who get their drinking water from springs you see coming out the side of a mountain? Listen, some of those springs are great. You just have to accept that when you drink from a spring, that a bear has shit in your water. As long as you can accept that the bears, the bees, the deer, the rabbits, they all shit in your water. As long as you're cool with that, as long as you know that raccoon scat is in what you're drinking, that it's mixed in with your mac and cheese, okay? As long as you're cool with that, keep drinking from a spring. There's also bacteria there that goes along with the shit. But yeah, listen, I have drunk some spring water, and listen, I don't have a spring on my property, but I do have a hand-dug well on my property. It's all groundwater, like surface water, okay? Listen, I drink that water from time to time. But you just have to know that, come on, man, there's animal shit in your water, okay? There's a frog turd that your water just flowed right over. And some people can handle that, and some people can't. Got a super chat from Forced Name Change. H2A tastes like H2O. If you prefer one bottle to another, it's not the water you're tasting. Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is the thing. It is the mineral content of the water. So, and this is what a lot of people don't understand. Whenever you look at some water, they add stuff to it. They may add sodium or potassium or whatever. They add salts and electrolytes. There are certain combinations of certain minerals like phosphorus, potassium, whatever, that are going to make that water taste better. So, I'm on a live. Hold on for just a second. I'm on a live. What's up, sir?
I need you, sir.
Okay. Guys, impromptu into the live. Got something going on. I need to jump off of here. I will hopefully see you guys tomorrow after I finish up the job. You guys have a wonderful night, but I got one of my employees who looks like